That's entrapment as far as I'm concerned, because that wouldn't have happened if your confidential informant didn't go in and manufacture that crime. They're bringing him the crime. They're creating. He's part of that criminal activity.
Understood.
And
but if you didn't want to commit that crime, you wouldn't have to. You could walk away. You could be like, you know what? I don't want to do this robbery
That's
tonight.
true.
I don't want to put a, amount of money on someone's head. I can just walk away.
Absolutely, and if you do, you're not entrapped. But if you do it, then you are entrapped. And that's what the confidential informant is supposed to do, entrap you.
I understand what you're saying, but you just made my argument. So if you could walk away from that, and if you walk away from that, it's not entrapment. You're not getting involved in the criminal activity, where
correct.
if you stay involved in it, you were predisposed to move forward with that crime regardless. So it's not entrapment either.
Well, I disagree with that. I think because it would have never happened if law enforcement didn't put their CI in there to try to entrap that guy, then there would have been no crime.
But if the person they were trying to entrap, let's say it's you, if you were going in with a clean conscience, not wanting to commit crime at all, then it wouldn't matter who they put in there.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you're still creating the crime. Law enforcement is creating the crime through their confidential informant. Because it would have never happened if that confidential informant, if he never met him, then there would be no crime.
So the confidential informant comes in saying, I want to do X, Y, Z crime, you can still walk away.
You can, and then there's no entrapment. But there wouldn't have been anything at all if your guy didn't come in. He wouldn't have had to refuse anything because there wouldn't have been anything.
So you're saying you would never have committed a crime no matter what it was if there wasn't a confidential informant that came in?
But here's what I'm saying. Then get him for that crime. Then the government didn't push that. The government didn't create it. The government didn't manufacture it. He did it on his own. You have every right to get him at that point.
The government provided an opportunity, and the person can decide whether or not to take that opportunity.
That's correct. That's correct. But let me ask you a question. Here's somebody here who just, he's broke, got no money. No money at all. Never committed a crime in his life. Innocent guy. Okay, can't put food on his table. You don't like that guy. You know what? I don't like him. I don't know what to do. He's not a criminal. But I'm going to send somebody in there and give him some incentive. I'm going to send somebody in there to talk to this guy to tell him, listen, I have this jewelry store that we can rob. Don't worry about it. Inside job. Nobody's going to know anything. Okay, but come with me. We'll do it. Now you can put food on the table. So you created a crime. You manufactured a crime for a guy that never was in trouble in his life.
He may never have been in trouble in his life, but if he wasn't already thinking that he could get away with that crime or commit that crime, he would say no.
You can't lock somebody up for what they think. I may think they're committing. I may want to rob Bridge truck, but I'm not going to do it.
Of course.
So you can't get mad at me for what I'm thinking.
But if he doesn't move forward with robbing that jewelry store, then there's no crime.
You don't understand. You didn't understand what I said. You didn't like that guy. He wasn't a criminal. You just didn't like him.
Yeah.
But I can't do anything about it. But I'm law enforcement. I have a tool. I have a weapon. I have a CI. I'm going to send him in there. I'm going to bait this guy into committing a crime.
I love that you think there's enough time and staff to be able to screw people over.
In the world of organized crime, okay, they got all the money, all the resources. Let me tell you something. During my time in organized crime, we had 750 made guys that comprised all 5 families. We had 1,400 agents, 2 agents to every 1 guy. They have plenty of time. That's what they get paid for. They have plenty of time, and they put a lot of effort into it. They put a lot of guys. They destroyed my former life. They have all the time in the world when they want to. I'm not saying you do or anybody else in this room. I'm telling you my experience. And let me tell you something. I had a lot more respect at that time for police. They were doing their job. I understand that. People say to me, Michael, now, you got to hate the police. I said, no, I don't hate the police. I have a wife, I have 5 daughters, I have grandkids. When they walk down the street, I want the police to protect them. I support the police, but I don't support the underhanded stuff that was done and that continues to be done. I'm sorry. I think the defund the police movement is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I'm totally against that. But I'm totally against law enforcement using tactics and weapons to get people that they shouldn't be doing. They have to play by the rules, period, or we have anarchy.
You're right, and they do play by the rules.
No, they don't.
Because providing a criminal opportunity does not force someone to commit a crime. And if that person is getting lured into the crime because they don't have enough mental fortitude to say no to something, that's not law enforcement's fault.
Watch somebody else with their mentality.
But they move
They have to
forward.
commit the crime.
And if the confidential informant gets them to move forward and commit the crime,
Or did they manufacture that crime? Yes or no?
absolutely not.
There was no crime until law enforcement put the guy there to make the
And the
crime.
person IRS could have said no.
I understand, but there would have been nothing to say no to if the government didn't put that crime in front of them. So they manufactured it. There was no crime before that. Thank you.
Do you want to study psychology and learn how it shapes people and workplace? I'm Dr. Cameron Werner, academic lead.
Adam, got it. How are you? Nice to meet you. We're both New York guys. We're adults, right? We make our own decisions. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 99.999% of undercover stings aren't just us being like, John Doe, you want to shut off shotgun? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not how it is.
I agree.
We already probably have dirt on you in some facet, right?
Oh, you're thinking, yeah.
Either way, sure, fair. All right, fair, fine. So we're going to set up a 20-man team, audio, video, all this stuff just for a random dude.
No.
Right. That's my point.
No, no, but what's the difference? Let's put out a name that everybody knows. Let's say it's John Gotti. We know that John Gotti is the boss of the Gambino. We'd love to see him in jail.
Okay.
But we don't know what he's doing at this point. So we have to figure it out. So let's get a confidential informant, okay, wire him up or do whatever it is that you do, and put him with John Gotti and try to bait John Gotti into doing something, whatever it might be, so that we can get something on him. Tell me you're not manufacturing. No,
He's still in the crime family. He's still running the mob. Like, it doesn't matter.
Being in the crime family is not a crime.
So, sure. Yes, I understand that. No, for sure.
Okay,
Yeah, but if you still put a CI in the room with them, be like, hey, boss, you want to commit murder today? He's going to be like, actually, nah, we're going to pass on that. Like, no, he's still going to do the crimes he's doing. Now, we just have an inside guy to wire that up.
But you don't know that. You don't know
That's
that.
the point of the undercover sting.
Exactly, but you're manufacturing that particular crime. You are
He could
creating
say,
that
if he's
crime.
some
Doesn't
no
matter.
one's going to tell the boss of the Gotti crime, the crime family to say what he's going to do.
You're not understanding. There still was no crime. You're creating a particular crime by bringing that confidential informant into him and giving him a situation, a criminal situation that you're hoping he bites into. If there was no confidential informant, there's no crime. So you manufactured that
He's not making
situation.
him do anything. he can easily be like, we're not doing that today.
He can.
Right.
He can say no, but I'm going to say the same thing that I said to that young lady. He wouldn't have to say no if you didn't manufacture something for him to say no
He doesn't
to.
have to say yes. This is a
But
circle.
it doesn't matter. No, because we
sure.
said the question is, do confidential informants manufacture crimes? The answer is yes. You just agree with me because yes, he's bringing a criminal situation to John Gotti that didn't exist before. If another criminal came to me and said, Michael, let's do this crime together, and I did it, okay, I did it. But if the government sent that guy in there, then the government is manufacturing
No, because
that
you
crime.
still have free will, and you could be like, no.
But
It doesn't matter.
You're right, but there would be
Right.
no crime if the government didn't make that happen.
But
you're bringing that crime to
saying yes. And again, we would already have something on you, or think we have something on you.
Think
You're not
that-
sure.
no,
No, for sure.
no,
You're not a
think
random
you have
person. To my point.
Doesn't matter if you're random or not. Everybody has the same rights.
Yeah.
If you're alleged to be a criminal, but you didn't commit a crime, you still have rights as an American citizen.
Sure.
So it doesn't matter what you think, doesn't matter, or what you suppose, doesn't matter. You could say, yeah, John Gotti's doing a million different things. We don't know what they are, but let's get somebody to do something so that we do know what it is. You're manufacturing that crime. It didn't exist before.
No. Oh, all right. Nice meeting you.
Fellow New York. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good.
I love that you brought up the Gambino family. One, because there was more to it than I